Well, well, well. You caught me. I've been sticking these sticky fingers in places I very much shouldn't have. Yes, I've been playing Tekken.
Get ready for the next battle. Tekken 8. New challenger.
Meow, come rub my belly, I'm hungry. Meow.
Oh, chance to work here for Harada. Mix-up time, doesn't get a clean hit. On that, the shoulder. Well, he can kill. He has rage. The shoulder again. Oh, the razor. Oh, my God.
Oh my.
Hey, President William Taft here, back with another banger YouTube video. I've been playing fighting games for about 8 years now, and in that time, many games have came and went. I've tried all kinds of games. I'm really friggin' good at trying games.
Could be alive a little.
Yup, we're out here.
Wow.
No, just don't get hit. He thought he won.
Oh my god.
He thought he won.
Yes!
No,
Motherfucker.
Bro, snatching victory from defeat was so fire.
I tried Team Fighters, Donkey Dick Shit Shrive, even had a stint with this stinky game. Stay over there, Mr. Stinky Game. Point is, over time, I've gotten adventurous and want to explore subgenres within the genre. Which brings us to today's guest. Yes, today we are talking about what some consider the Dark Souls of fighting games. Yeah, I ain't even gonna sugarcoat it. This game gets a huge reputation for being insanely hard to learn, with there being about 40 characters and 100 moves each, and yeah, it's a lot. I mean, you do the math, 100 times 40, that's like 4 trillion or something. Like, it's a lot of moves. Well, and I mean, of course I was using a calc there. Nobody could do that in their head, and I mean, calc's just slang for calculator. I'm just using sling here, guys. It's a lot of moves, okay? But also, it's not, kind of, but I'll get into that in a little bit. By the way, I have like 100 hours in this game, maybe a little over 100, and so yeah, I'm pretty new to Tekken, and this will be a Tekken Noob's review of Tekken 8. Immediately, off the bat, there's a pretty big, obvious thing that separates Tekken from other fighting games. Bear humping. No, silly.
The third dimension.
Yeah, I'd say 99% of fighting games are 2D, with the only notable 3D games these days being Tekken and Soul Calibur. Now, I've never tried Soul Calibur, and I love Geralt of Rivia, but Tekken seems like the obvious choice for me. I'm a sheep, in other words, and go where the masses go. I can't think for myself. I truly have no individual characteristics. I am a shell of a free embodiment of will. First, let's talk about the gameplay of this game. The gameplay of Tekken 8 feels great. As for most people, the 3D was definitely the initial selling point of this game for me, and after a little over 100 hours with the game, it remains my favorite thing about the game. Sidestepping makes me Goon Edge Max Duke Dennis.
From the hours of 8 to 10 p.m., we will only use the words Giat, Flex, Slay, and Bussin'.
Now seriously though, sidestepping and punishing something in this game feels amazing. I am a Leroy main, and all gameplay you see in this video will be mine. Now bear with me, I know I'm not the greatest. That honor goes to all JROTC cadets. I have made it to Kenshin rank in this game, which I think is pretty good, but fuck if I know, you know? One thing I immediately have to point out as far as gameplay for this game is it's one of the only fighting games you'll find on the market that doesn't have projectile zoning. Pretty fire, right? No one likes zoning. They are stinky. If you are a zoner and you're watching this, take a bath, you stinky boy. No, but really, everybody's always complaining about zoning. Here's the fighting game that has no zoning, and people won't even play it. And it's like, come on, I mean, what are we doing? Also, one of the only fighting games on the market that isn't exclusively based around unreactable strike throw mix-ups. Throws are reactable in Tekken, and it goes based off of which hand they grab you with, which is kind of insane, but It's also kind of neat, and it plays into this whole, like, making the fighting feel real in this game. Like, I have to give this game credit for how much it feels just like real fighting, I guess. The 3D really helps with that, but all these little things like being able to jump off the wall or grab people off the ground, shit you just can't usually do in other fighting games. Being able to stay on the ground for as long as you want, it all adds character and life to this game. Now, the strike throw thing is just a me personal thing. I'm so tired of strike throw. I'm gonna make a video about that at some point probably, but and it's not that strike throw shouldn't exist, but not every fighting game needs to be so strike throw heavy, and that's why I appreciate Tekken for like sticking to its core, I guess, and not straying away into trying to become Street Fighter basically, like some other game series have. Fucking Ed Boon. This game has no invincible DPs, and it has no meter system. Like, it's really unconventional to other fighting games in a lot of ways. And now, it's time to dress the elephant in the room. What's the deal with this game's bloated moveset? I mean, really, 100 moves on every character, and some characters reaching 200, it's def a question worth asking. In fact, I would argue it's why most people who consider playing Tekken don't play this game. I have a lot of friends who are like, oh, I mean, that's too much. That's too much. But is that a justified stance to take on Tekken? Kind of, sort of, not really. You see, I once stood on that side of the fence as well, kind of intimidated to try to learn Tekken considering its reputation of difficulty and general bloat of moves. What you'll come to learn when learning Tekken, though, is really only about 20 or so of your moves are ever really going to be used. And same goes for your opponents. So when you break it down, you have 20 moves, your opponent has 20 moves. It's really not much different than any other fighting game you would play. Now, of course, at any given moment, your opponent can just knowledge check you with one of his other 130 moves that you've never seen, and yeah, you're probably fucked. And I mean, that's kind of crazy. Right, but that never really happens, you know? Although, I won't say the stance is fully without merit, you know? As someone new to the Tekken series, it really is a lot to take in. Ranked play is extremely frustrating and tilting sometimes because almost everything in this game feels like a flowchart, no thought needed, knowledge check, and if you don't know one specific move from a character, you will lose to someone who is half as good as you. You can lose to someone who is half as good as you because they got one move that you've never seen before that they're just doing over and over. And they're just gimmicking you, knowledge checking you over and over. Yes, it exists in other fighting games, it exists in every fighting game, but nowhere near to the level of Tekken, because Tekken's just broad, bloated moveset, basically. This allows knowledge checks constantly, pretty much, no matter how long you've played the fucking game. As a newbie to the series who likes boobies, I do have to point out it would be a more inviting game to new players if we decrease the move list by like half, right? But at the same time, gotta play devil's advocate here, I see the appeal of the huge move list. It really does sort of give characters a personality, allows everyone to personalize how they play their character and which moves they want to use. You know, like my Brian might not be the same as your Brian, my Leroy might not be the same as your Leroy. It gives you, and also it gives you like infinite things to learn about your character. Like in other games, yeah, you don't master your character unless you're fucking, you know, a pro player. Like as just a normal player, you're not mastering your character, but sometimes it feels like, oh my god, I've learned everything there is to learn, you know, damn near. But in this game, you'll never really have that feeling because there's just so much stuff. One thing I don't like about this game, though, is this game has the fatal blow mechanic from Mortal Kombat, but somehow worse. Like, I shit on MK11 all the time for giving you a free super for free. Free super for free. When you're low in health, that recharges even if on whiff or block after some time. At least in Mortal Kombat 11, you get one a game. In Tekken, you have this same mechanic, but it also buffs all your damage until you use the super, and you get access to it every round. So this game will give you, oh my god, you're losing. You've hit like a 15% health threshold. So now we're going to buff your damage, and you get a free super. And you get this every round. So, do I even have to explain why that's a problem? I mean, it slows the game down a ton anytime somebody's low on health. Especially, maybe not at the pro levels, I get it, but at lower levels, I have to just jab, block, jab block. If they have super, I have to bait super constantly. And it's every round, and yeah. Speaking of rounds, though, this game does do like first to win 3 rounds wins. Most fighting games do first to 2 rounds win. I think the 3-round thing really helps because the damage in this game is high, which isn't a problem if you give us an extra round to work with. You know what I mean? Like, I wish Guilty Gear Strive did that. I think that would have been perfect in that game. And I don't know. I just like that it took the different approach of giving you an extra round, and I like that about this game a lot. I like that it slows the game down when you're about to get the final hit. It's like, oh shit, who's gonna do it? Who is it? You know? Yeah. So let's get to the nitty gritty, hit the gritty of this game's gameplay. Something I've definitely glossed over is the heat mechanic, and there's a lot of division about the heat mechanic. I know that especially with Season 2, which I also want to touch on because I'm so lazy and took so long to edit this video. Season 2 has now came out. So, the heat mechanic itself, I actually think is a really cool, neat, interesting idea. If I had to compare it to anything, it's kind of like RC and Strive, but not really. It's kind of like the trait mechanic in Injustice 2, but not really. It's pretty unique, and I think it's pretty cool. Does it need tuned down? Yes. Yes, and I think most of the community would agree with that. But I'm going to just keep it a whole bean with you right now, bro. As a new player, and this is a newbie to the series who likes boobies, I think people are overreacting to the Season 2 patch just a little bit. Now, mind you, this is coming from somebody who's played Dragon Ball FighterZ. You know, I've seen crazy games. Like absolute batshit crazy games. This is not one of them. I will say, well, okay, I'm being facetious. This game is batshit crazy right now, but I've seen crazier. So when people are getting this up in arms, it's just like, I don't know. It seems like a little bit of an overreaction, but I will agree with you guys. I think the game is going in the wrong direction. I don't think that we need to buff heat. I don't think we need to give everyone fucking +9 moves. Jack with the fucking homing, leaping, mogging mid that's plus and tracking and all this shit, right? But, you know, it's definitely funner. You got to point that out, right? It definitely makes the game fun. Like, if you play a low tier like me, Leroy, dude, Leroy, I've been having a fucking blast with Leroy until I run into someone else. You know, like a fucking Brian that also got retarded buffs for some reason. But other than that, man, like, it genuinely did add fun to some of the lower tier characters. I do, and people are acting like the game is unredeemable now. Like, this patch just completely ruined everything forever, dude. All they have to do is tune down a couple moves. You know, maybe 15, 20, 30 moves. I don't know. It's not even that. It's not undoable, though. I like the fact that they did new moves. I don't really have the fix all idea for heat. You know, it's up for you guys to figure out. I don't know. That's up for the Tekken team and people who have more than 100 hours. Okay. While I'm at it, I want to briefly mention something else I left out in this video, which is the customization in this game is sick. Like, better than any other fighting game. It's not even close. You can make your character look like not your character. Dude, I saw a Victor the other day that was Perry the Platypus. You can have King John Cena. You can have Goku. I mean, you can do all kinds of shit in this game, man. With the customization, it's really cool, the freedom they give you with it. And also, I didn't want to mention this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. The story mode, man. I was pleasantly surprised with the story mode. Did it all in one day. That's how much I enjoyed it. I tend to think NetherRealm is the gold standard for fighting game stories because they put the most effort in, they got the cutscenes. But dude, Tekken surprised me. This is the first Tekken story I've ever played, obviously. It's got great cutscenes. It's got these like little mini game missions. You guys know what I'm talking about, where you're like fighting the military. It's crazy shit, but I don't know, man. It's cool. I fuck with it, and yeah, that's all. I just had while I was editing this video, I had to come in and say a couple things. I wanted to briefly touch on Heat in Season 2 and my opinions. Again, I don't think it's the end of the world like everyone's acting, but I do think it's a step in the wrong direction, but it's fixable, and I do think they'll fix it, and I'm gonna keep playing this video game. I briefly touched on Ranked, and although it is a cesspool of lonely people and soul-inducing, goddamn is it addicting. It's like fucking shooting heroin in my veins every time I log in for Ranked, bro. The feeling of trying to climb ranks in this game is like no other fighting game I've played. yeah, it's hard ASF to climb. But that's kind of what's making my journey worth it, you know? Like, it feels like I'm actually progressing and working towards something, unlike other fighting games where you can hit the max rank, like, and suck. You can, quite frankly, hit the max rank and suck in most games. This game does not feel that way to me, you know? The cast is amazing, the gameplay loop is super fun, and as someone who's played many and many of fighting games, I gotta say, I wish I played Tekken sooner. And if you're on the fence about playing Tekken, you should try Tekken. I promise you it's not that intimidating to learn, and who knows, you might fuck around and love it, and make a video about it, like my dumbass did. I've had a short journey with this game so far, but I've enjoyed just the process of learning, you know? I know this game will have a long future, and will change a lot over time, so I'm excited to see just kind of how it plays out, you know? Hello, President William Taft here, the internet's busiest fighting game nerd. I'm feeling a strong 8 to a light 9 big booms on this one. Boom, 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 boom! Transition. Let me know what you guys think down below, though. If you enjoyed today's video, feel free to leave a like, comment, sub, and